Doc, we got to ask you, there's a lot of talk going on about how little funding LSU Shreveport gets. I'm going to just be blunt. Would LSU Shreveport be better off in the UL system, the University of Louisiana system, rather than under the LSU umbrella?
Well, listen, I'm going to 10 years ago, there was a study taken to I think, merged at LSUS with Louisiana Tech, and I was in Bossier in that area, and I listened to a lot of impassioned conversations on both sides. My dear friend Vince Marsala was there, and then Paul Sisson was there. And, LSUS does some remarkable things for that community. When Larry Clark came in, he used some creative approaches, brought a team together, and really elevated that school from its situation at the time. This conversation's been going on, I think, since 1968. And a lot of times with the default to structure, it's really about deciding where does that university go? What is the optimal place for it to be? And then ensuring that they've got the resources and the leadership support to help them to realize that potential. That's an LSU system decision right now, and I'm going to leave it to them, defer to them on how they approach that. There's some great things happening there. Julie Lester, Northwestern State alum, is vice president there. Some great things. Some faculty there that are doing some very innovative things, research and scholarship. So I think really being clear about what the vision is for that university, and then finding the resource base to help them realize that's going to be the key.
To the folks in Baton Rouge who run LSU, is the medical school up here like the hot girl, and LSUS is like the not-so-hot girl that goes everywhere with the hot girl? But you want to hang out with the hot girl, and she's going to bring the not-hot girl along? Is that how they view the medical school as it relates to LSUS out there on Erie Drive?
They look at those as different types of assets. And the LSU Medical Center there, I've got a son who's finishing his first year as a medical student, has just had an extraordinary experience. And I think about how important that medical corridor is. Listen, not just for the Health Science Center, but for that whole I-20 corridor. And you think about what a resource that is to advance quality of life, to advance health outcomes, to contribute to economic development in that region. Certainly that asset is a strong one. LSU Shreveport is a different animal, not less than, just different. And its mission as the only public four-year university in one of the largest metropolitan areas of the state is essential. And again, what Larry Clark has done, elevating the graduate programs at that school, was necessary, one, for its survival, because we were all in a very bad place when Larry came in. He's found a way, an entrepreneurial way, to drive resources to that university. That can't be understated, and that's a very, very important role. Sometimes it's not as flashy as the graduate work that goes on and the research work in medicine and the healthcare delivery that occurs at the Health Science Center, but it's absolutely as essential for that region, and it even needs to be strengthened so they can do even more that's going to make a difference for the people in that area.
What would be the process for LSUS to become UL Shreveport? How would that begin? Would it be something that you could talk about publicly? What would be step number one?
Yeah, what has to happen?
Well, first, let me say we're not in the hostile takeover game at all. There is a process that is defined in the Louisiana Constitution, and it charges this decision, the first part of it, with the Board of Regents on the management board. We operate university, but the Constitution requires them to do a study, or the legislature can mandate that they do a study resolution. They report the result of that study back, or in the absence of reporting that study back, the legislature can act. Once the legislature gets that recommendation, then they can act to either create a new system of higher education, to move a university from one system to another, to merge institutions. The legislature gets the final word on that. Now, it takes a 2/3 vote of both houses. So you're talking 70 votes in the House. I believe, 29 votes in the Senate. So it's a high hurdle. And if you look over time, there have been multiple efforts to do it. Some in New Orleans, some in North Louisiana, at different places. They've rarely been successful because change is hard. Change is very difficult.